Architecture often starts with a partie, a generative concept that sometimes comes from structure. In a place like Big Sur, we started to think about the landscape as really driving the partie, driving the organizational concept for the house.
I'm Stan, and this is my son Jess.
Our firm is called Field Architecture, and we're the architects of the Big Sur house. The house is located on the Big Sur coast, right on the edge of the Pacific. It's a dynamic place where the Santa Lucia Mountains rise about 5,000 feet in elevation over only 3 miles.
And we love the whole idea that nature has really created this site. And learning from that, and learning from the boulders, and by leaving them and not removing them or trying to change them, established a very powerful lesson for us. Don't try and compete with nature. Become part of it.
So Stan began his private practice in South Africa in 1972 after studying with Lucan. And he was always working at home, so I was constantly immersed in his drawings and models and visiting sites, and really could think of nothing to do other than follow in those footsteps.
We seem to be in sync, that was one of the most powerful things that we realized. I see this as great architecture, and I'm sure Jess does too. Not to show off, but to know when to pull and when to push and where to do it.
The brief for the house was really an intimate family home that allowed the family to live out on the site year-round. That necessitated really tuning into the environmental challenges that life on the coast presents and adapting the house in order to create comfort throughout the year.
And one of the things that we really marveled at was that erosion tended to become the force that nature had provided. And that erosion really is the erosion of the ground and the rocks and the pools. And all of that together gave us a starting point to jump off from. It was the first time we'd used something that took something away and built on that.
As Stan mentioned, rather than building up, we really thought about it more as creating this horizontal datum that's expressed through these thin, tapered, very light roofs. We wanted the house to ultimately feel as though the ground, as the terrain naturally falls towards the Pacific, had eroded and exposed the house to view. Arriving on site, we pull off of the highway and descend down a tree-lined grove of Monterey cypress. Following that, we arrive at the front door. From there, we turn to face the length of the bridge. And walking across the bridge, both sides of the ravine come into view. To the west, the balcony hangs over the topography as it drops off more steeply to the west. Turning yet again is the dining and then the kitchen behind it. That's the place where we access the deck and the pool. From there, walking down the stairs, we carve through one of these monolithic stone walls and arrive down at a landing, and the primary bedroom is to our right, and the two children's bedrooms on the left.
Landscape is so important. I don't think we've done any architecture where landscape hasn't actually driven the design. And I think that's really what we're all about. We're trying to see what nature has left for us to learn from.
The landscape in Big Sur is adapted to a very volatile set of conditions that really define this place. We've got incredible winds, we've got winter storms, we've got summer sun, incredible amount of salinity in the air. And our goal from the beginning was to ask the architecture to be informed by those same environmental elements that make this place unique, so that the architecture and the landscape can work together in creating a sense of place.
You know, fortunately also, the land is falling down towards the ocean. And so there's this feeling of continuity of the land and the sea.
And those rock faces inspired us to want to anchor the material expression of the building with stone walls. And in order to do that, we found this gray quartzite that we laid in these horizontal strips, bringing those two in direct dialogue with one another. So we were looking for a material that would complement the stone, and that material was wood. So rather than introducing additional materials for each space, we restrained the palette to those two basic materials. We used the same California bay laurel for the dining room table as we did for the kitchen. The countertops are black granite, which gives us a hard, durable surface, and the black top complements the warm tones of the wood. The part of the home that I always find myself coming back to is right here underneath these cypresses, looking back at the house across the pool. There's something amazing that's visible from here, where we can see both the side of the house that tucks into the land and then the side of the house that lunges out towards the sea.
If one could choose a project to do, this would be the project. Because it's not just what you see, it's what you feel. And I think that's one of the most important things about architecture. Don't ever forget that what you are designing generates feeling. And it's not to just copy it, it's to find something that speaks to it. And that is what I'm most proud of, is that we found a way of dialoguing with what exists.